Kevin pointed out, one of the most important components of bringing yourself back out of these very, very difficult situations. Now, I was fortunate to be a stockbroker and an investment advisor, and I had a lot of time to do research, and I like to research. So I've researched the United States economy since its beginning in the 1700s. I've even written a book on it called Power Cycles. And I understand these downturns and how they work and the components of them. We are definitely in one of those major downturns right now. The main reason being is because the government has no money. It's basically spent everything. The government is essentially bankrupt. All it has is the taxing power. That's all the governments ever have, is the taxing power on individuals and corporations. But revenues are down about 20% from last year, and debt is skyrocketing. So right now, the situation for the U.S. government, the U.S. economy is, as far as dollar-denominated assets, is potentially bleak. Whether that's going to continue on, nobody knows. It could turn around tomorrow. It could have turned around today. Nobody knows that. So projecting into the future is a fool's game. But if a situation does occur where the United States goes through this difficulty and has to come out the other side after having gone bankrupt, after everybody having lost everything because they can't make their debt payments and all the rest of those things, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative. Because on the other side of the hill, on the other side of the mountain, is a new day with new technology and new ways of doing things. For instance, one thing that's coming up right now is ways to use energy out of zero point, this vast ocean of energy that's never been tapped before because we've been addicted to fossil fuels, because that's all we've known, where there is unlimited energy at practically no cost. And this has been known for 100 years. Nikola Tesla came up with it a long time ago. He had ways that you could actually tap energy out of the ground. So it's been known that these types of things exist. The technological advance of mankind will never stop, and we will have a new wonderful day in the future. The key is that you have to be able to survive long enough to get there, and that's what this particular technology does. Is it allows you survival capabilities that you might not otherwise have. And when that other thing comes along, that other side of the mountain, that other side of the upturn, what you're going to find is there's going to be an entirely different world than there was before. If we make the assumption that unlimited energy is in fact available, which it may very well be, and maybe not that far away, what you have is a situation where the cost of living is dropping massively because you don't have energy expenses. You don't have gasoline expenses. You don't have heating expenses. You don't have electricity expenses because it's being produced on a fairly regular basis without significant costs. And that's just one example. That reverberates through the entire economy and causes a entirely different world in which many places that were energy starved before because of the cost of energy are now energy sufficient, as an example. But that also goes to many other things. Life changes as far as components of things that can produce longer lives, less intrusion by government. Many, many things can happen very, very rapidly in a situation where man is innovating himself out of an old paradigm, which is causing this big downturn in the economy, into a new paradigm where an entirely new world is opening up. So what I'd like to tell you, I guess maybe conclude by saying this, folks. What we're doing, Kevin and I, is the new paradigm. It is what's coming out on the other side of the mountain, which you have locked into. It is a world in which negativity really isn't going to exist. It's a world in which mankind can have a new beginning and a new way of looking at things without animosity, without anger, but having unconditional love and complete humility and only concentrating on those things which produce the total bliss, which is spiritual ascension. And in my opinion, it's well worth living for and well worth working for, even though we may have little bumps along the way. So what I would like you to all do is just follow my encouragement. 1, get on and stay on the distance energy program. It's your lifeline during difficult times. It's your way to avoid depression and to stay in a very, very positive mindset at all times. Second, drink the water. There are many components of the water that produce bodily repair and very, very high-level states of advanced physiology. 3, work on the wands, because the wands help to clear off layer after layer after layer after layer after layer of negativity. As you pass the wands over your body, it takes off these layers, and in many cases, they never return. And remember that Kevin and I are working very hard for you all the time. Kevin is an extremely hard and dedicated worker, not only with finding clients for the program, but also doing research in his own right, which is assisting him in understanding the types of things that we're doing. And also myself, who, I'm an older guy. I've done a lot of research. I have a lot of experience in things. I'm the oldest guy that understands what this distance energy technology is, which isn't saying much, because it's only been around for 3 years. But I've also worked with many machines that are precursors to this energy, and I think I have a fairly decent understanding of what's going on. And I assure you that in helping myself to understand things better and to do things better as far as the distance energy is concerned, I'm helping you all as well. And I'm a very, very dedicated person. I don't think too much about the future. I don't think too much about the past. Kevin, I'm sure, would agree that I have a tendency to concentrate on things at a very, very high level. Whatever needs to be accomplished, I can usually find a way to accomplish it as far as things people need fairly quickly. So what I would like to do is encourage you to all, as Kevin said, have patience and understand that what you're after is the ultimate bliss of unconditional love and total humility, and not be willing to settle for anything less. Kevin?
Thanks, Bill. I just wanted to add a few things, anecdotal experiences I've had over the last couple of weeks. And, I went on a trip yesterday upstate. I went to this place called Lake Mohonk in New Paltz, New York. It's a beautiful old mountain house that's been around for 140 years, set in upstate New York. And, I used to go there as a kid, like anywhere from 7 to 14 years of age. We used to go there every summer. So I would distinctly remember these childhood experiences up there. And also, I was up there and I experienced how I am today. And it's night and day, there's a sense of peace and strength there that's really never been around. And I looked at everyone around and everyone was all chaotic and they couldn't sit still. And it was like, I see all these sick, energetic beings. And it's fundamentally just energy deprivation. It's a lack of energy, which manifests in a lot of ways. Physical health problems, emotional problems, mental illnesses, all sorts of crazy things. And just simply how many gifts and changes that have occurred over not only just the last year, over the last several years, but especially over the last year since I've been on the program. It's just unbelievable. And, recently I've started to make physical improvements in my body. I'm correcting problems with dental problems, with bite problems that I had as a kid when they did all these extractions. And literally I've only been doing that a week. And I've had these tremendous physical changes in my body as far as correcting my athletic ability has gone through the roof in the last week just by making little subtle incremental changes in my body. Produces a cascade of hormonal and emotional and psychological changes throughout my consciousness. And this is a byproduct of starting with energy. So fundamentally what there is an energy deficiency, which leads to solutions in the external world. And what I'm doing now is I'm correcting the geometries of my body, which is accelerating the quest for bliss and happiness. So the structural improvements even ripple down to the physical plane eventually. And so these technologies, especially etheric order, really will eventually work on a physical plane type of event. I had another regression sign where I got a